if we have to come to BJP today, well, any observer of politics, both nationally or internationally, has really observed and seen the way BJP has succeeded. I mean, election after election, it has registered really spectacular election victories. And it has a very broad based acceptance in Indian society as well, from various sections of the society. So when you look at the BJP and when you compare it with its competitors in India's political landscape, what do you see in BJP that makes it stand out? That probably leads to its successes.
Right. I think two or three things. I think I'll because I come from a corporate background. I call it my previous life, right? Before coming to public life. So let me analyze it like a corporate. So in corporate, one of the important things is HR, the human resource. So what is the human resource of BJP, right? JP Nadda is not the son, daughter, father, mother of Amit Shah. Amit Shah is not the brother, father, son of Narendra Modi. So is not the relationship between him and Rajnath Singh and any of the BJP's president, right? So you are there as a BJP president because of sheer merit, nothing else. Compared to Congress, is just a musical chair between Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, maybe Priyanka Vadra, maybe Robert Vadra, maybe two children of Robert Vadra. These five people will be just doing musical chair. I think 1 year back when they lost the election in 2019, Rahul Gandhi said, no, I want to take the responsibility to leave. And then we got an interim president. And who was the interim president? Sonia Gandhi. And Sonia Gandhi is interim from last 1.5 years. Interim is not, they're changing the meaning of the word interim, right? And now there are talks that Rahul Gandhi will be back, right? This is a joke, right? So if I'm the HR head of Congress, my talent pool to choose my CEO is only 3 people, right? So 3 people is not a talent pool. In BJP, the talent pool is huge. No one knew who Manohar Lal Khattar was. No one knew who Raghuvar Das was. But because they were able administrators, because they were liked by people, because they shown their merit, because they won electorally multiple times, that's why they're there, right? And BJP went against the caste combination of that state. Manohar Lal Khattar is not a Jat, right? Devendra Fadnavis is not a Maratha. Raghuvar Das is not a tribal, right? So I think because the whole of the political language is said that you have to cater to whatever is your vote bank of that state, right? If it's an able administrator, not able administrator, that's a different thing that we don't want, right? Because we want to have power just for the heck of it, right? That's the way governments were run, right? So if I call the BJP 2.0, and the Narendra Modi and Amit Shah took all of those challenges. And Narendra Modi himself, when BJP put him as a prime minister candidate in 2014, Kamal, if I can say it, he was almost a third level leader in the ranks, right? It was Alke Advani and Murli Manoj Joshi at the top. And then who were the leader of opposition in the house? Sushma Swaraj and Arun Jaitley ji. Unfortunately, both of them are not with us today. And then the chief ministers. But because the whole Sangh Parvar, whole Vichar Parvar identified that this is the person who has the popularity, who has the shared governance experience of 3 terms as the chief minister, can be good for the country, right? And then he was like upspring and he was made the... So this I think love for meritocracy is what is making BJP fly. And this is my warning to BJP also. If this system dies in BJP, they will become another Congress, right? Which luckily is not dying. People are saying, oh, Gujarat lobby has captured BJP, but now there is a person of Himachal who has become ahead. And if you remember after Bihar election, how very eloquently and very gracefully Narendra Modi from stage said, JP Nadda tum aage badho, hum tumhare saath hain. And JP Nadda hamare leader hai. A leader of stature of Narendra Modi is making sure that the authority of JP Nadda is established very smartly, right? And all the leaders, on the very senior leaders on the stage, from Nitin Gadkari ji to Rajnath Singh ji to Santosh ji, they all stood and clapped and congratulated him. That's the way you, like, he was a leader in its own merit anyways. He's like a long-standing politician. Last 4 decades, JP Nadda is. But how you establish it in for your team, that's also important. I think this is the major thing on the human HR side. Now, on what you're working on, your thematic areas, right? Let's say Ram Mandir issue. Let's say pro-Hindutva issue. They're part of their manifestos from the Palanpur Adhiveshan, the Mandir movement, right? And maybe the cow thing, maybe the 370 thing, maybe the Kashmir resolution, they never dropped it. A lot of time they faced the flag because of that. They gained political power, but they lost political power because of that. But they never left their issues. Versus Rahul Gandhi. Sometimes he says Ram is imaginary. All of a sudden, Ram Mandir comes. He said, "Oh, Ram is everything." Earlier, they said Jallikattu should be avoided. Today, he's attending a Jallikattu event. So I think he's just a politician of convenience, right? That's point number. How they have one principle, they do it, they put it in their manifesto, and they implement it. Right now, people saying, "Oh, how they removed 370." Amit Shah replied, "We are writing that in our manifesto in the last 20 years. In fact, we got late in implementing it." Right. Third thing, how hardworking the whole cadre is, and I'll give you an example, and that will communicate it. In 2017 or 18, Kamal, I'm forgetting the exact date. Rahul Gandhi was in one of the university, I think University of Berkeley in US, and he was giving a lecture, and he was defending dynasty there. That India runs on dynasty. Like from Amitabh Bachchan, from a cricketer, he was just giving various examples that I'm not an exception. Like there are people from other walks of life also, that's the way India runs. And the very same day, Kamal, Amit Shah was sitting in 2017 in the house of a Karyakarta in West Bengal, where they have no base. And 2019, they won 40% vote share in 18 Lok Sabha seats in a bastion of Mamata Banerjee, right? I went to UP, met the Sangathan Mantri Sunil Bansal ji there 3-4 weeks back in Uttar Pradesh. He's preparing the poll level team for 2022 election sitting today when there is no election in UP like in the next 1.5 years, right? So in Hyderabad municipal election, the whole of the big machinery was deployed. And they made wins. So even if they lose the election, they win the election, they do it everything full-heartedly, right? Like it's not the bunch of people who are flirting with politics. Like Rahul Gandhi, kisi din aa gaye, kisi din chale gaye. Saturday you go somewhere in the heat of the moment. You are in London, you are in Bangkok. Nobody knows where are you. Your attendance in the parliament is 40-50%. You have hardly asked 10 questions. Your participation in debate is 7-8 debates. Like this is Rahul Gandhi is. Right? So let alone, I agree with Rahul Gandhi, I disagree. At least you have to match the hard work to the hard work, right? The hard work of Amit Shah, hard work of Yogi Adityanath, hard work of Narendra Modi, you have to match that, right? Otherwise, you are just like a part-time politician, right? So these three things, I think, makes BJP stand out. And if someone can imitate that, I think they can also be loved by the people.
Namaste. We hope you enjoyed this Chitti Media content. Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.